Welcome to Expressions. I'm Julie Robbins. We're inside the Boston Avenue Methodist Church in downtown Tulsa. And behind me is Casey Cantwell, who is one of the organists here at the church. Casey is going to introduce us to one of the most difficult instruments in the world, the pipe organ. So stay with us to see and hear more of how Casey expresses himself. Our guest today is Casey Cantwell. Casey, thank you for being on the program.
Thank you.
And you are one of the organists here at the Boston Avenue Methodist Church. All right, tell me, how did you get involved in being an organist?
Well, as a small child, I grew up in Dallas, Texas at First United Methodist Church. And my parents said the day I was baptized, the organ was playing extremely loud and they covered up my ears. And I think from that moment on, I wanted to be an organist. And when I was 5, my parents took me to an organist in Dallas and asked him if he could teach me to play the organ. He said, well, you have to be tall enough for your feet to reach the pedals. So start
the
taking...
only requirement.
Well, I guess. And take piano lessons and come back when you're in the 6th grade. So I did that and studied with him for 3 years, and then studied with the professor of organ at Southern Methodist University in Dallas in high school. Then got a college degree in organ performance, and then I've been working full-time ever since.
Now this is a pipe organ, right?
Yes, and so this is the console which controls the rest of the organ, which are in the chambers around. I think we'll see in a few minutes. But you see 4 keyboards, they're called manuals, and then the pedals down here, which are played with the feet, and they correspond to the notes the same as a regular keyboard. You see the black keys and the light keys.
Right. Now what about the other pedals down there?
Those create open and closed shutters that create expression on the organ. If I play a chord here and then close this pedal, you'll hear it get softer and then stronger. So basically that's what those are for.
Okay.
And they control the different areas of the instrument. These are called stops, or draw knobs, and each one corresponds to a different rank of pipes. We have a flute on the organ. Many different flutes, actually. And you hear them coming from different parts of the instrument. And we have trumpets on the organ.
Oh, you're announcing
another
royalty
set,
there.
yes. Another one. Then probably the most interesting trumpet on this organ is called the trumpet en chamade, and the pipes are up in the ceiling in the back of the sanctuary. And the French term en chamade means horizontal, so the pipes are not up and down as in the rest of the instrument, but stick straight out, and it's designed to play over the full organ sound. So.
Oh, wow.
So that's a special feature. But we have an English horn on the organ, or an oboe.
So whatever the church wants to hear, they can pretty much hear.
And the organ also has its own completely unique sound that does not imitate any other instrument. And those sounds are called principals, or diapasons, depending on how you see it written. And that's basic, what most people think of as the basic organ sound.
More of a traditional type sound.
Right.
Now I'm going to ask a daring question here. How much would an instrument of this size, of this quality, how much would this cost?
We have it insured for over $1 million.
My goodness. And they let you touch it?
It must be that college degree. I don't
It's
know.
gotta
There's-
be. Okay, Casey, now we're gonna go around the corner here and go to him?
Actually, we climbed this ladder to get to the organ chamber right up here.
Really?
Yes. It's
Okay.
a long way up there.
You know I'm
so
wearing a dress.
That's
All
okay.
right, and heels.
I'll start first. How's that?
After you.
Come on in.
All right,
You made it.
Casey. All right, what a job. Got my exercise for the morning. Okay, this is the pipe room?
This is a chamber. We call them organ chambers. And, but yes, that's exactly what it is. It's a pipe room, and you can see all the pipes here.
Now, how many pipes are in this room?
Oh
you
my
know?
goodness, no, I'm not sure. I would say probably 400, something like that.
Something around there, yeah. And all different sizes.
Yes.
Wow.
But you can,
And what note was that?
that was, I don't know if I had the right wind pressure, but it's supposed to be a C.
Yeah, you said wind pressure, so I'm hearing air.
Right.
What is that?
There's a main blower in the organ way across the church from where we are now that blows air into giant wind lines that they snake all around the church into the different chambers. If you can see this collapsible thing here, all of the divisions have air in them. And so these pipes are sitting on these tables, basically, called wind chests. And so when the organ's turned on, the wind comes into all the different chambers. And then when you pull out one of the draw knobs on the organ, the air is released beneath that row of pipes.
Okay.
Let me climb up here and show you what I mean.
All right.
And get to some of the smaller ones as well. But we have so many different pipes up here. Let me pull out a smaller one. You can see how small some of these are. And
Now, is it okay to touch those, or do they go out of tune when you...
they can go out of tune. It's better to know where to touch one,
Right.
and so we don't want just anyone to pick one up necessarily. But if the temperature is the same, even though my hand might make it warmer, it should go back into its original pitch once it sits there for a few minutes.
You mentioned a while ago that you thought there was approximately about 400 pipes in this room. How many are there total?
Over 6,000 pipes in the whole organ.
Oh, wow.
This is not one of the larger divisions, actually. We're in a small space here.
Right.
I told you about wooden pipes, too.
Do they make a different sound? I mean, is there a reason why they're
Sure.
wood? Ooh.
That's a flute, basically. And you see the stopper in the top. It's tuned with this stopper being moved up and down, and the stopper also makes it sound an octave lower than its length. So you can actually use this kind of pipe and get them in a smaller space.
So when you say flute, down there earlier you showed us which button to push and how you make the flute noise.
Right.
This is where it comes from then
Absolutely.
to make that. Casey, that was wonderful.
Oh, it's really interesting, isn't it?
It sure is.
Not many people get to go into the organ chamber.
I know, and I did, and I feel privileged. Now, this is what I want to hear. I want to hear some music. I want to see you actually playing the organ here.
Great. How about the piece you heard when you came in?
Okay,
that I was working on.
that would be one. Now, what is that piece called?
It's a variations on Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella by Keith Chapman, and it's actually a Christmas piece. But it's really a lot of fun. It uses the organ and it has lots of energy.
Casey, as you have a seat there and you prepare for your piece, what challenges does this specific piece bring to you?
Well, in general, with any piece, you have to decide what the registration is going to be, which stops you're going to use. I've already done that with this piece, and so I've set 3 pistons, actually, that I'll use in the piece.
Now tell me, how do you know that, though? How do you know to do that?
Well, usually the music tells you.
Okay.
At the beginning of the piece, it says fortissimo, which is very loud, full organ, which isn't the whole thing. You want to save something for the end sometimes too. So, and then he tells you in the music where to play and what. And some composers are more specific than others, depending on the kind of piece it is. The other challenges for playing this piece are actually changing those pistons at the right time, and then playing the melody and the pedal in a canon form, sort of like Row, Row Your Boat, where one group sings and the next one comes in, the right hand plays the tune, with the left hand moving on an accompaniment, and then the pedal comes in a measure later.
Oh, my
and
brain
plays
could not
it
handle
afterward.
that.
So, well, it takes a little practice.
Well, I'm ready to see you perform.
Great.
Welcome back. Wasn't that beautiful? And Casey, you have another piece for us to play, but you're not quite using just your hands on this piece, right?
The next piece has quite a bit of footwork. It's a Bach fugue. And actually, a critic wrote of Bach when he was traveling around performing that Bach played with his feet as much as he did with his hands. And this may be the piece that inspired that quote. I don't know.
Wow. Now, let's talk about the feet just for a second.
Yes.
You have special shoes for this, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact. They're called organ shoes. And
There's such a
basically,
thing as organ shoes.
the difference is that the sole is very thin and there's no leather on it, so that the heel and the toe slide easily.
Oh, so you don't get stuck on a...
Correct, yes. You have to have a heel and it's got to be able to move. So I don't wear these any place except to play. I don't wear them outside or around very much because they get scuffed over the
Right.
years.
Well, I guess we're going to let you get footloose then, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Casey, that was incredible.
Thank you very much.
Nice, fancy footwork there.
Yes.
Now tell me, what is the next piece you're going to be playing?
Well, it's called Cortège and Litany. It's by Marcel Dupré, who is a French composer who just died in 1971. So this piece is much more contemporary.
And we haven't heard a French piece yet.
No, we haven't. And in this piece, you'll hear the chimes and some of the different voices on the organ more clearly than in the other two pieces.
Oh, well, I can't wait. Well, we're going to let you close the show with this piece of music, and I'd like to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for coming.
And we thank you for watching Expressions. We're going to close and let you enjoy Casey's talents.